Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Eric Tallman with you this evening, and just wanted to let you know that it is going to be a very, very active pattern for the next couple of days. So you most definitely want to stay tuned, and I'll have the very latest on very active systems that are going to be upon us, that are going to impact us. It's going to be one system after another. So I did look at the models, and it did look quite interesting. So let's get started with this date, and then we will give you the next couple of days of what to expect. So there's actually one system that I will be watching, because after that system leaves on Sunday, we will have another system right behind that. So you want to stay tuned for that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about on these GFS models. It's quite interesting. Okay, so as you can see, that this is actually the beginning of the actual storm system that's going to be moving in. You can see that the snow is beginning to move in. So this is actually the start of it. So stay tuned. I'll have the very latest on the next couple of days of active weather. And then I'll tell you more greatest potential for snowstorms. And that's coming up right after this. We'll talk about that with the rest of the forecast and much more. Stay tuned. We've got you covered. Please make sure that you stay tuned, and please remember to please subscribe, like, and if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, I will be right back with the rest of the forecast. Thank you. And thank you so much for joining me once again. This is going to probably be the most busiest evening ever for me. I'm going to actually be watching and tracking all of these models in regards to the next storm system that is really going to impact Michigan. It's not just going to be this system. There's going to be several other systems that are going to impact Michigan. So you might want to stick around for that, because it's going to be quite interesting when I show you what I'm talking about. And you're going to be like, oh my goodness, we just had this round of snow. Why are we getting some more of it? Well, I'll tell you when the worst is yet to come. So this is the beginning of it. So you can see right here that this snow is beginning to move in. You can see in parts of Michigan, northern Michigan, you can see the widespread snowfall, and you can actually see that it's in Chicago, Illinois, and other parts of the Midwest right there. And you can see that there's actually a snow-rain mix and freezing rain band right there. That is going to be a problem for us in Southeast Michigan. That is one of the main concerns that I'm going to be focusing in on, because that means that we will have that potential for some very slick and icy conditions. So for the most part, just plan ahead. Hopefully a lot of you guys have done your grocery shopping and stuff. So if you haven't had the chance to do so, you might want to continue to think about that, because once that this active system gets in here, it's probably going to be a lot more slower travel because of the freezing rain and icy conditions. So stay tuned. I'm going to let you know when we get through the rough stuff here, and then we'll talk about some more active systems that will be coming across the Midwest and impacting Michigan. So it's going to be quite active for a while. So I'll let you know when we're going to get a break from it. So stay tuned, and I will give you more details opposed to for how long. And I'm going to give you the rest of the GFS models for December the 19th, and we'll go from there. So between December the 19th and the 20th are going to be quite interesting. And then after Sunday is going to be even more interesting. I'm going to show you that coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. I've got all of the interesting stuff coming up. We'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. And remember, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would love to hear from you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys for staying tuned for the latest forecasts and all of that kind of stuff. I work entirely very, very hard at this, and I most definitely get up very early in the morning to do so, to get prepared and look over all the forecast models and etc. So I try to stay on top of everything, and I will have snow totals and all of that stuff, and definitely tomorrow for sure when I have more time. It's kind of late, and I'm trying to wrap this up so I'm ready for tomorrow. So stay tuned. I've got more on the rest of our wintry mix pattern. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And thank you so much for joining me once again. I'm Eric Tallman, and I'm going to continue to have up-to-date winter weather coverage as we continue to see a lot of active systems that will be bringing us snow, rain, and freezing rain and icy conditions to southeast Michigan. That's what we're going to be dealing with for the weekend. So hopefully you guys are prepared for that. We were talking about that this morning. And I believe we were talking about that yesterday and the day before, etc. So we're going to move on. So you can see that the snow is actually very widespread across Michigan and, yeah, just about all of Michigan there. And then you can see way to the west over there, there's actually freezing rain that's starting to develop right there. It's somewhat widespread. You can see it entering Michigan. So I'm going to show you how interesting that's going to be. So the freezing rain is actually another thing that I'm concerned about, as well as the entire system. So just to let you know that the freezing rain is there, and that means icy conditions and roads and all that kind of stuff. So that's not very safe travel. I'm going to tell you about that. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you when that freezing rain gets here and how long that's going to stick around southeast Michigan. Stay tuned. I'll let you know which areas are going to get affected with that and much more. We'll be right back. A lot more to come right after this. And thank you so much for joining me once again. I'm Eric Tallman with you with continuing winter storm coverage 2020. It is very, very active for us as well, and we're still dealing with the system. So I'm going to show you how more interesting it's going to get. So you can see on here that we will see this band of snow develop across southeast Michigan, and then this is the other concern, is going to be that freezing rain that is going to develop across Michigan as well. That's another thing that I'm concerned about. So between that, that's not really going to help the matters any. So that means that road conditions in that are not going to look all that good, and there'll be actually time periods when we'll be dealing with that freezing rain. So you can see that the freezing rain right there is starting to expand. You can see that it's on the Lake Michigan right there, and it's entering Michigan. You can see it's on the western part of Michigan there. So that's just giving you a heads up that is on the way. So stay tuned. I've got more coming up on this very, very icy forecast, and we will talk about the rest of the forecast models just ahead. We'll be right back with the rest of this forecast, and then I'll be back again at 11 o'clock with the rest of the GFS model forecasts. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm Eric Tallman again. I really appreciate everybody's patience and understanding for this. This has really been a very long day. I've been up since 5:30, 6 o'clock, just trying to round everything up, and I've been looking at forecast models, GFS models all day long today. So it's been a very interesting setup, and that's going to continue. So I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue to do this forecast. So I'm doing up and beyond work here. So you can see that the snow bands still continue, and you can see that the freezing rain is trying to pop up there. You can see that it is trying to expand right there. Then we've got that rain right there. So you can see that we've got the widespread snow right there, and then we also have this freezing rain and snow rain mix just trying to move in. It's going to get a lot more interesting once we get into our Saturday and Sunday. So stay tuned. I'm going to wrap this forecast up, and then after that, we will see everyone back here again at 11 o'clock, 11:30, with the rest of our forecast. We'll be right back. And thank you so much for joining me. I'm Eric Tallman. We are going to wrap this up, people, so I can prepare for the rest of the week, because it's going to be quite interesting as well. We'll talk about the rest of the GFS model forecast at 11 o'clock, but I want to focus on this because I'm running out of time here. I have to get this up and go back to the rest of the forecast and everything else. So you can see on here that there is actually widespread freezing rain. That was actually the target thing. That was the target zone that I had told you. That was basically going to be the concern. Now, based on the timing for this whole storm system, I'm going to actually look at some other things to find out exactly what you need to prepare for. But indefinitely just be on the horizon for this, because it will be the bullseye as well when it gets here. And once that it does, once the storm system gets here, it is going to start to create a lot of issues for all of us, especially with this freezing rain. It's not something fun. It's actually going to be rather interesting. So we'll be right back. And after that, that completes our GFS models. And I'll be back within a half an hour or so with the rest of the GFS models for the remainder of the rest of the week. Stay tuned. I've got more coverage right after this. And thank you for your patience and understanding. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you. And thank you so much for joining me. I do apologize. I did not know that this is going to be a very long forecast, but it's actually a good thing that we are talking about this, so that way you have a general idea of what's going on. So you can see that this thing is still approaching southeast Michigan, and you can see now that it is a snow rain mix. You can see that all the snow is actually in northern Michigan. Then we also have this freezing rain that I had told you earlier in the show. Now the freezing rain has expanded. So little parts of western Michigan will see this, and then you can see it's actually going to do its little bullseye trick right there on our horizon, and other places will be affected as well. So if you're not prepared for that, be prepared for that, because it's actually going to transition, and it's not going to look all that good. So the freezing rain is actually going to be sticking around our metropolitan Detroit areas in southeast Michigan. I will let you know for how long, what to expect. I'll have all the rest of the remainders of the details first thing in the morning. That will be the first thing that we discuss, and then I will talk about more GFS models as well. Please come back and join me again tonight at 11:30, and then I will be back again at 5:30 with the remainder of the rest of the interesting active weather patterns. So there'll be a lot more coverage, a little bit more coverage tonight, but indefinitely there'll be a lot of extended coverage indefinitely tomorrow, because I'll make sure I get you guys through the day and everything with all this active nasty weather that we've got coming tomorrow, with this wintry mix and freezing rain and all this other stuff that's going to be the bullseye for tomorrow. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in a half an hour if I do not actually, I'm gonna actually change that over because I forgot. I'm gonna give it time for the GFF for the. I'm sorry. I'm going to give the computer a while to update GFS model, so I'm gonna reverse that. Come back and join me again uh, on well, let me think, on Saturday morning at 5 a.m. I'm really sorry. So the time that I'll be back on will be at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. Thank you.